and then eventually save on his Shyvana, which is his signature champion. Pulled a save, flanked the other team, and they won the game. They won the game from being down really, really bad. So what Save does, Save just has such an understanding of, I can pressure here safely and it helps my team. I can flank here safely and it helps my team to win a team fight, that I see as a step above every other top laner in the tournament. And that's, if you're a top laner and you want to learn top lane, just get your popcorn, kick your feet up, grab your six-pack, and watch Save play this game. It will be a brilliant thing to watch.
Guys?
Yeah. I think I would say that going in terms of like a 1v1 matchup is stronger than every other top laner in the tournament except Save, and the difference between his level and Save is still like really high. So, yeah, I think Save is really good.
Okay, so...
And Save is the primary carry of his team.
I think Goong is the Najin White Shield mid laner. I think Goong is still vulnerable. If I was OMG, or if I was Alliance, or if I was Cloud9 and I was preparing for Najin White Shield, I would try to manipulate particularly the ban phase to where you get Najin White Shield to ban mid laners, and then you follow up, like you ban 4 or 5 mid laners and test Goong's champion pool. Because when Najin White Shield fell off during summer, LeBlanc and Nidalee got nerfed into the ground. Those were Goong's champions. Goong was probably the best in Korea at both of those. So those were gone, and Najin White Shield took an obvious step back. There were some other factors there, but that was the primary one. Now you get to him in regionals. Regionals, he showed a Zed that was really strong. He showed an Ahri that was really strong. His Yasuo was god-awful and pretty damn funny. So if you can get him on Yasuo, you take that every time. But I think that's where you can test. You can test Najin White Shield. That's kind of the Achilles heel of that team, and that's where I think OMG would have a chance, where Cool would smash Goong hard enough to where Save's probably pretty solid beating of Going gets negated.
Where's the 2v2 then for you? Between Cool and Loveling and Goon and Watch.
I feel like we talked a little bit about how EDG is mini blue. I feel like when OMG is on point, they're mini shield. Just because they have like these strong solo laners. Obviously, we talked a little bit about how the balance is more in top lane for shield and more in mid lane for OMG. But like Zephyr and Son are definitely really considered really low points on the team. Gorilla we talked about is good. When I feel like if Cloud were still on OMG, the comparison would be even more apt because he was really good at Thresh and like not really super stand out on other stuff. Maybe Nami. So I consider the teams to have similar, and then Watch and Loveling are both capable of really amazing flashes of brilliance, but otherwise are really inconsistent. So I think it's going to be interesting in that 2v2 matchup between Cool and Goong. I think is actually Cool and Loveling favored, just because I think both Loveling and Watch are really inconsistent.
What does Zachary think? Do you think the same thing? Do you think it's favored to Cool?
I think there are certainly ways you can set up an advantageous matchup for Cool. I completely agree. The question when it comes to Najin White Shield's Watch is, which Watch are you going to get? Are you going to get the Watch that was on point, just rocking out throughout regionals, throughout that gauntlet of games? Or are you going to get the Watch that can disappear at times? And if it's the one that's rocking out, Najin White Shield will not lose a game in this group. And they probably will not lose a game to OMG. If it's the inconsistent Watch, then frankly, all bets are off at that point.
I honestly don't think that OMG will win a game regardless. Just because we talked about their mental issues and how that's going. But if Watch is not on point and Loveling is, if they're both on point, I think that still goes to Watch, just because, actually, I really don't know. If they're both on point, it'll be interesting.
Jackson?
But yeah.
It's so hard for me to say. I think the Loveling Cool 2v2. I kind of want to just say even, to be honest. But like again, yeah, it's totally dependent on how Watch shows up. Like I can rely on those other three players given picks they're comfortable on to do well, and then Watch is kind of like that wild card.
The counterpoint that I will put to this is I feel like OMG's success, at least recently, has been really dependent on, like you guys keep saying, you know, if Watch shows up, OMG's performance has been really determined on if Loveling shows up. If Drug and Allen get that 2v2 that they want. You think back to the Yasuo game where Cool just went out of his fucking mind. It was set up by a really early double kill.
You could say he's cooler than a unicycle.
Cooler than a cucumber on a unicycle. I think I used that at one point, although I get like really loopy at like 5 o'clock in the morning. No, okay, so you guys have, what then? It's Blue and Najin going up. So now we gotta go to the other side. We have TSM, except Thomas was like, throw SK in there. No, TPA is who you threw in there.
But we can go TSM for the sake of debate.
Okay,
That's
so
fine.
TSM, Starhorn Royal Club, and I'm totally forgetting. Oh, so why am I forgetting that? It's White and EDG. it's EDG versus TSM, and White.
No,
versus...
it would be White versus TSM. I
Is it?
think. Yeah, because A2 B1. It would be EDG versus Starhorn, and White versus TSM in your setup.
Yes. So it would be
Team kill.
EDG, region kill, or they call it the Civil War in China. So
Which I
they're
think
already
is pretty cool
saying
as a
that
fan.
they're
They have a lot of cool little
prepared for
names
Civil
for
War.
things in China. I like it a lot.
They're already saying they're prepared for Civil War, so that's kind of interesting.
TSM versus
but-
White. Come on, guys.
3-0 stomp.
3-0 stomp, maybe an hour of game time.
You know that
Okay.
conversation we had where like Cool could maybe be better than Goon? Like we're not having that
Okay.
conversation.
So we go up. We got White and EDG. Now we got Najin and Blue. Who's going up from here? Come on, guys. You got 4 teams left. You're almost there.
No, would it not be a team kill at that point?
Give me the Samsung finals.
Well, the Samsungs, yeah. If we're talking about this scenario, then it would be White versus Blue, and EDG
Najin
versus. Shield.
versus EDG. Is EDG gonna make it to the finals?
This is like the. This,
Will they
this
go
is
all the way?
Scenario.
Yeah, given the scenario you've outlined, you'd have a Samsung team kill in the semis against
Yeah.
probably EDG, assuming EDG gets by Starhorn in the quarters, and you'd have Fnatic or OMG versus Najin Shield. Assuming Najin Shield moves on, you'd have Najin Shield versus EDG, which would actually be a really good series, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think that is
I feel like
the
that'd be a
most.
good series too.
I think that is the best chance that any region has of taking games off Korea. That's,
I would agree. Najin White Shield, again, for fans that are not big in Korea, they have a tendency to just kind of fart around before 30 or 40 minutes and then win one big team fight and take the game. It's a running joke. If you watch old Najin White Shield video, Doe and Monte Cristo are like, oh, it's a Najin White Shield game. Catch you in 50 minutes when Najin White Shield decides to play, because all of their games are just long and slugfests. So I think that if there's a spot where Korea were to go down, it would be right there.
What's your finals? I want the finals. So we can end this
Shield
episode.
versus-
Give me the finals.
I'd
Blue
have to say Shield versus Blue just because it's not possible for Blue and White to meet in the grand finals. So
You don't think that a Samsung
I
organization will take a second seed to perhaps claim more money than...
I am pleading the fifth.
This is why sister teams exist. This is why that rule exists. I was explaining
I
this
guess you never know,
to
man.
Pyra
Like-
the other day. He was like, no, I don't think a team would do that. I was like, well, there's historical evidence that this has happened in the past. This is a shit ton of money. This is like, what, $1.5 million? So should a Samsung team, should both Samsung teams make first and second? Like, this is why that rule exists, that sister teams...
Right.
I mean, I'm not discounting the possibility. Like I've been watching Korean esports since Brood War, so I'm not going to deny the fact that that could be a possibility. It's just
I'll be honest, I don't want to think about that possibility, because then you get into this like weird competitive integrity point, and I think we can all agree that the buzzword competitive integrity kind of has a tendency to appear and disappear
Illegitimacy of esports.
Yeah, it's such a moving target that this is imperative for competitive integrity. This isn't, so we need to do this instead. But now you've set different precedents, and it's like, oh my god, it's just such a rabbit hole that I don't want to think about it.
So we're gonna say Najin blue.
Yes, and blue
I
will
think
be
it's
Naja.
weird that I think it's kind of I'm just like now realizing that I'm wrapping my mind around like the fact that White Shield being in the finals is the most likely, which is so weird when you consider like their whole year.
Yes.
But hey, I mean things happen. But I mean, hey, it was even weirder when Royal Club was in the finals last year. Like nobody saw that shit coming, and by nobody I mean like me, the one white guy watching China. But like that just like didn't make any sense.
I
to
stood
me.
I
out.
just imagine his,
Maybe-
his
maybe they'll
wall
get a
like,
world's
covered with
buff.
OMG.
Maybe they'll get like a world's buff, and like we'll see Starhorn and Royal Clubs in the final, and we'll be like, "Why is this shit happening again?" No, Royal Club, stop making the finals. It's always so bad.
Kelsey, what
I
are you
don't know.
reading?
Twitch
I
chat,
don't read anything.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that all you guys got? This is it?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Well, don't sound so disappointed.
I think
Yeah.
blue Najin. If you want to do I think 3-1 blue. I think Najin will pull it together enough to get one game. But I said that I want to close. I'll start spinning down with this. What makes blue so great is blue is very consistently here on the skill level, very high skill, but they're consistently here. How do you beat blue? You have to spike above them. Once you wrap your mind around that, what teams can spike above Samsung Blue's skill level? Well, the KT Arrows did, so they can. Samsung White can, but they have not. Samsung White has arguably the highest skill ceiling in the world. We can go back and forth about that all day, but I'm just saying, White can. T1K maybe because they still have solid mechanical players. And
They have Bengi.
yeah, well then they have Bengi. And then you have
Come on, do.
Yeah.
maybe big time maybe here. That's why I said 3-1. Maybe Najin White Shield. Yes, save would do work, but Dade Goon cancel each other out, and I have more faith in Deft Heart than Zephyr Gorilla. And Spirit, if Spirit can get going, he's a very emotional player. And if Spirit gets going snowballing, that team just turns into this whole different, even scarier animal. But if you can tilt Spirit, it's like conversely, blue can be had, but that just doesn't happen very often. So that's how I look at it. I think blue's consistency wins out in this tournament.
Final thoughts?
That was it for me.
Well, this is why we had you on the show.
Sweet.
I mean, I think, like, I want to say White because I think White's the better team in almost every other scenario, but Blue keeps beating them, so Blue wins.
Jackson?
Yeah, I think statistically that makes the most sense.
I'm gonna put EDG in the finals because fuck you guys. We're on China Talk.
Hey, I'd love to see it happen.
Well,
I
I
mean,
say
it is
shit,
possible. It's just very improbable.
It's the
I
stars
think
just
it's
have to
unlikely.
align perfectly, and that's all I wanted. I'm not saying it's a
It happened
it's
last
a
year.
50-50 chance. It's very much like a 70-30,
Yeah,
but
They didn't take out, like, Korean teams on the way to the finals, so...
there you go.
True.
All I hope is that Yellow Star just once plays Leona for you.
I
Froth.
just want him to play Leona.
He's just gonna only play Leona, and then you're just gonna be like,
no, this
deal
is
with
my,
it,
my
bitches.
dream prediction. It's EDG Fnatic in the finals, and it's like this intense, like they're completely tied, and Yellow Star he runs on stage. Like, say I don't even know, for whatever reason he's not doing it. He runs on stage and he just like rips open his shirt, and there's like a Leona t-shirt. He like sits down, he locks in Leona, and he beats EDG, and Fnatic finally wins a Worlds that means something.
I mean, that would be poetic justice for you, that's for sure.
No, because China just lost. That's the double-edged sword. I wouldn't even.
No, see, your prediction was that he wouldn't be able to out-Leona a Chinese team, so if he beat them with Leona, that would be even worse.
Okay,
for
so
you,
it's
obviously.
blind pick. Both of them have Leona. And they lose in the grand finals. Yeah, that's how that goes? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, EDG needs to win so I can get like a Name Twitch skin or some shit.
Yeah, can we talk about all the cool skins? I
There-
really
there are-
want a dandy Kazakh skin. Or a dandy Rengar skin. I think that would be
It would
cool.
almost probably be Dandy Rengar. I want to see. I I want to see a Samsung Twitch skin because I think there's a lot of stuff you can have. Like, I wish Riot would just go all in on branding and have like a Dandy or an Imp Twitch skin if Samsung White wins that shoots like cell phones during spray and pray. Just go completely over the edge with it.
Quality.
Okay, I will, first of all, as we wind the show down, I will take a huge thank you to Thomas. Thank you so much for joining us on China Talk. Normally we do have Hubo in here, but we wanted to actually get a real Korean, other than that guy Hubo that we always have.
Wow.
I have a real Korean.
A real Korean. Everyone thinks, I'm pretty sure most of our fans think that Hubo is Chinese. He's not Chinese, he's Korean.
No,
So otherwise,
sorry,
huge
guys.
thank you for coming on the show. Do you guys have any shout-outs? Thomas, we'll start with you since you're our guest.
I just want to thank y'all for letting me come on. I've had a lot of fun. I like drilling into League of Legends, and I don't get very many opportunities, so that was a lot of fun. And feel free to give me a follow on Twitter. I will say I'm not extremely active, but if you ping me with a question, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
You were supposed to come on the show and tell us how much China sucks, and there wasn't enough of that.
Yeah, come on.
Okay. Well,
It's point blank, Thomas. Is China the second best region in the world?
yes. I mean, no, they're not. China's terrible. Don't watch China. China has a bunch of weird people that don't play real champions. They play like,
Skarner.
yeah.
That's always the answer I hear. Like, we haven't had a Skarner in forever. It's, play Skarner, bro!
What the fuck? 5 Skarners? What?
Fired.
I'm done. Sorry, guys.
Okay, thank you, Thomas.
Kelsey, Dirksen, shoutouts?
Shout out to Twitch, Garvey, Gunrun for helping us with their regionals. That was really great. Shout out to my friend Felon, who was nice. My other friend Ran Lue, who's also nice. These people who actually speak Chinese and help me out. Also shout out to these lovely panelists, and yeah. Oh, right. The next show that we have will be on Gamers.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
big
right. We're
announcement.
moving that. We forgot. We are moving platforms. On Gamers has picked this up, and we will be broadcasting from now on their channel.
I can be called ugly and boring on my own show now. It's great.
And 50 years old.
Don't worry. I'll have you on the Paravine show and prompt you with that all the time. Make you feel loved there, too.
Yes.
Yeah, same thing. Shout out to the panelists. Always love to talk to you guys. And I know you guys probably haven't seen any content from me in like 2 weeks because I've been dying, but I'm getting better, so I'll start making stuff again. And apologies to people that anticipate my content because, yeah, my volume of release has been the worst ever. So, but that should change, so, yeah.
I'm going to give a
That's
huge
it.
shout out to Garvey, of course, Gunrun, but I'm also going to give a huge shout out to my co-caster Pyrotechnics as well as Kelsey Moser. So a little known fact, we hit 40,000 viewers for our regionals content, which, apology guys, it was casting for nonstop 9 hours. At the very end of it, just the quality starts to go downhill. And of course, huge thank you to LOL Esports for also streaming us on their site. There's only 3 people. Only 3 people run the LPL EN stream. We always get why are the technical issues so bad? Why is the lag so bad? It's literally Kelsey Moser running the stream. That's it, and then it's just Pyra and I casting. So that was 40,000. 3 people got 40,000 people to watch their stream. That's I'm gonna take that as a win in the column. Check.
Yeah, you guys beasted that pretty well.
But otherwise, everyone smile and wave because we're gonna stop streaming. Thomas, wave. Kelsey, thank you.
And then eventually save on his Shyvana, which is his signature champion. Pulled a save, flanked the other team, and they won the game. They won the game from being down really, really bad. So what Save does, Save just has such an understanding of, I can pressure here safely and it helps my team. I can flank here safely and it helps my team to win a team fight. That I see as a step above every other top laner in the tournament. And that's, if you're a top laner and you want to learn top lane, just get your popcorn, kick your feet up, grab your 6-pack, and watch Save play this game. It will be a brilliant thing to watch.
Guys?
But I think that's where you can test. You can test Najin Whiteshield. That's kind of the Achilles heel of that team, and that's where I think OMG would have a chance, where Cool would smash Goong hard enough to where Save's probably pretty solid beating of going gets negated.
Where's
And
the 2v2 then for you between Cool and Loveling and not Save, Goon and Watch?
I feel like we talked a little bit about how EDG is mini blue. I feel like when OMG is on point, they're mini shield.
particularly the ban phase, to where you get Najin White Shield to ban mid laners, and then you follow up, like you ban 4 or 5 mid laners and test Goong's champion pool. Because when Najin White Shield fell off during summer, LeBlanc and Nidalee got nerfed into the ground. Those were Goong's champions. Goong was probably the best in Korea at both of those. So those were gone, and Najin White Shield took an obvious step back. There were some other factors there, but that was the primary one. Now you get to him in regionals. Regionals, he showed a Zed that was really strong. He showed an Ahri that was really strong. His Yasuo was god-awful and pretty damn funny. So if you can get him on Yasuo, you take that every time.
I think I would say that going in terms of like a 1v1 matchup is stronger than every other top laner in the tournament except Save, and the difference between his level and Save is still like really high. So yeah, I think Save is really good.
Okay, so
And Save is the primary carry of his team.
I think Goong is the Najin White Shield mid laner. I think Goong is still vulnerable. If I was OMG, or if I was Alliance, or if I was Cloud9 and I was preparing for Najin White Shield, I would try to manipulate it.
Just because they have like these strong solo laners. Obviously, we talked a little bit about how the balance is more in top lane for Shield and more in mid lane for OMG. But like Zephyr and Son are definitely really considered really low points on the team. Gorilla we talked about is good. When I feel like if Cloud were still on OMG, the comparison would be even more apt because he was really good at Thresh and like not really super stand out on other stuff. Maybe Nami. So